Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Hager number 726. This is the typical silicone teardrop shape smoke and draft seal gasketing in white. They also have it, of course, in brown and a tan finish as well. Charcoal. Several different lengths, 17 foot. This is a 25-foot roll, by the way. 17 foot, 18 foot, 19 foot, 20, 21, 22, 25. Then 260 and 520 foot lengths. A 25-foot roll would be, well, it would certainly give you enough to do an 8.0 by 8.0 opening. Not sure what door size comes up to 25. With the exception of having plenty to do every double door size that I can think of. 17 foot obviously is most common. You've got a 7 foot and a 7 foot and a 3 foot, so 17 foot is real typical for that. And let's get to the review of the product. So the installation of this material is actually simple and straightforward. However, it's crucial that it be done correctly. Otherwise the installation could easily fail. First of all, this material is going to be used for smoke and draft control applications when those are required, like an S label you'll have on a door. Now, in commercial construction, you'll run into that quite frequently, especially in hotels. Suite entry doors are always going to be smoke and draft control type of applications. So you will always see some sort of gasketing to comply with that label requirement, and very commonly it's self-adhesive. The half by quarter that this material is by far the most common size. This is the industry workhorse of this material. This is made of silicone, so it's going to be very durable and long-lasting. The only negative about the 726, not negative about the 726, but negative about the design inherently, is that if you have an incredibly tight margin to begin with, this product's not going to fit. If you've got a 1/16 of an inch or an ill-fitting door, this material you will find is not going to fit at all, because it cannot be compressed down far enough, and you'd likely want to consider a different item for that sort of installation, such as the 736. Possibly the 728. And I'm referring to, pardon me, there's a link below this video to a document called Product Brochure, where you can review all of the sister products when it comes to smoke gasketing control on doors when it's self-adhesive. Fin style, T-style, foam style, batwing style, double batwing style, teardrop style, etc. There is also, speaking about links, there's also a link below this video to a document called Product Info, and that is just more of a technical document that will allow you to become a bit more educated in terms of weather stripping in general. Not a very common item necessarily for required consumption, but it's there, and it does give you definitions of things that you might be looking at in terms of expectations of the job site from the specifications. Finally, there's a link to the installation instructions, and that material is, of course, it's printed. It's the back side of the packaging that you're going to get is what you're seeing here. It's actually both sides of the document. Now, on page 2, and let's get to the installation instructions now. On page 2 is where you're going to see where you apply the material in relationship to it being the hinge side, where you would mount it to the rabbet of the frame, or the lock and head, where you'd mount it to the face of the stop. And that's crucial because where you apply it depends on how the door is approaching it in terms of closing. Compression is the only thing that they're looking to have where you're actually just going to approach the door to compress it, never come across it at a 90-degree angle. The installation of this material is super simple and straightforward, can be done relatively quick. However, there's some pitfalls that must be navigated around, otherwise the installation, like I said earlier, will likely fail, speaking from experience. First of all, before we get to that, this material is obviously intended for smoke and draft control. I've used it for applications beyond that, just when I wanted to augment existing weather stripping to help retard the transmission of sound, air, dust, and debris from space to space. And it's very effective, and it's evidence just after a few days or a few weeks of it being in use that you can tell where it's trapping the transmission of dust. You can immediately tell when you get it installed that it does deaden the sound. And I'll use it because it's inexpensive and effective and easy to install. Scissors are all you need. Now, back to the installation instructions. Step 1, pre-cut the jam and header pieces to fit before the installation. Do not install as a continuous piece. You're not going to want to run this material into the inside corners. Those inside corners will be points of failure. You're going to want to cut the header to length. You're going to want to apply that. You're going to want to run your latch side down. You can trim it at the end, at the bottom of the jam appropriately, after you've got it basically cut, and then run your hinge jam as well, but pre-cut pieces already. Step 2 says, remove the protective backing 18 to 24 inch at a time while you position the gasketing, keeping adhesive free from foreign substances. So that step 2 is really the most important step. The frame has to be utterly clean and free of any dust and debris. Even oil from your hands can be a problem. If the frame has been painted or stained, that must be completely cured, let's say at least a week later. It is so crucial that the frame be clean that they include an alcohol wipe. That's how important it is. Once you think you've got it clean, go back and do it a second time. If you don't take exceptional precaution, you'll come the next day to the job site to find that parts of it have failed. And quite frankly, at that point, there's no way to really mitigate the problem except to start over, is the bottom line. So use that alcohol wipe and no dust and debris. Now they say 18 to 24 inch at a time. I find working with 2 foot of the material too much. You don't want to have a line because this material, you can install it, and I've seen it installed terribly where people rushed through it, and that material just is wavy down the straight lines of the frame. I like to work with a shorter distance because it allows me better control, plus it helps prevent unintentional bumping of the material onto the frame. You don't want to have a lot of that exposed needlessly. So I work with a shorter length, and as I get to step 3, apply to the frame in short sections by pressing firmly into place. Don't run the material down like this. You're going to stretch it, and then overnight or sooner it will find its natural elasticity and break the bond of the adhesive. So short sections, press firmly into place, 15 pounds of pressure, that sort of thing. Do not stretch the product during installation. If a pre-cut length is too long, if you've measured it, cut it, and then you get to the end and it's too long, it's stretched. Immediately remove and reset. You get, I think, kind of one chance at getting it reset there before there's a problem. Moving on to step 4. If error is made during installation, a resetting is possible. Once installed, apply firm pressure along the entire surface of the product to ensure a secure bond. So I will run it, get it tacked on, get it straight, get it checked, make sure it's correct, and then go back and apply the massive pressure to get it permanently installed. For best results, on the right-hand side of the page, install it at room temperature is the bottom line. Like we said earlier, paint must be cured for at least a week. You might have to rough up a glossy sort of finish with some Scotch-Brite in order to get the adhesive to do a better job, and high-gloss surfaces. Use very firm pressure when applying. This is one of the most important aspects of ensuring a secure bond. Check the adhesion in the installation before you leave the job site, and press it back into place. If any detachment has occurred, it'll take 24 hours for this material to permanently adhere. The final thing I'd like to say is don't order any more of this than you need. This really has a shelf life. That adhesive on the back, about a year. Order it as needed, order it on a per job basis sort of condition. The name Hager is synonymous with all things weather stripping related. There's an entire catalog section of their weather stripping that can be viewed from the link below this video to the product, to the manufacturer's page. But from there you will have the opportunity to pull up the entire product line from Hager, and you might be surprised to find out that they do certainly a lot more than weather stripping. Lock sets, exit devices, door closers, sliding door track and hangers, aluminum continuous geared hinges naturally, ancillary items like signage and filler plates for steel doors and steel frames. But it's their namesake, Hager hinge, that they're most commonly known for. Everything when it relates to residential hinges, commercial, industrial, architectural hinges is their purview. If you have any questions on the Hager 726W, self-adhesive silicone smoke and draft gasketing, or any other Hager product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.